In part 1, we scoured Carrock Mine's north bank and came up empty. Then along Caldbeck we struck luck, not just uranium, but a worm with more mining sense than both of us combined. Underground, the mine delivered spooky tunnels, mineral veins glowing under our lamps, and relics left behind when the last miner switched off his light. Now we're going to trade darkness for daylight, but the hunt isn't over. Brandy Gill's waterfalls hide secrets of their own, and somewhere in this valley, the remains of Brandy Gill Mine cling to the slopes. If we're lucky, we might even circle back to one last uranium surprise. The question is, what's still here, waiting to be found? Today's mission takes us up Brandy Gill, a steep 200-metre climb through this shallow valley. The maps promise waterfalls and forgotten mines, but we'll see what's really left out there. Once we reach the top, we'll swing east into the dry valley above the beck, uncharted territory for us. Then it's downhill, tracing the hidden scars of Poddy Gill's mining past before circling back to Carrock Mine. And if we've got any luck left, one last uranium secret might be waiting where we least expect it, back at the veins. So welcome everybody to part 3 of the Carrock Mine video. It's a bit blustery today, so I hope you can hear me. I'll try my absolute best. So previously we went over there to the mine and we saw lots of really cool things, but today there's sort of 3 main targets. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go up there to Brandy Gill Mine, and then with Poddy Gill on the way back down again. Then the second thing we're going to do is re-explore over here behind me on the south of the beck, because looking for uranium clues there. And then finally we're going to go around the corner, follow the Caldbeck down, and apparently there may be some potential hotspots there. So that's the plan for today. Bit blustery, weather keeps changing, and also there's one hell of a hill climb involved in this. But let's see what happens and let's see how it goes. So this is one of the veins. This is the Emerson vein, and this really deep gash inside the hillside is what they did. So they went in from the top and they went in from the bottom as well, and it's really impressive. It might have come through on the footage, but the depth of this is just crazy. And if you turn around, you sort of get an idea of where it comes out the other side, just where you see that screen, just sort of there. So yeah, it's just not often do you see these things in plain sight, these veins. Our first taste of Brandy Gill's power. This modest cascade already shows the valley's character. The water dances over bedrock worn smooth by centuries of flow, with Carrock Mine's silhouette still watching from 200 metres downstream. And there, the first hint of why miners cared about this place. The Waterfall Vein's mineral streaks peek through the opposite bank, where Victorian hands once dug for lead. But this is what we came for. Brandy Gill's first proper waterfall. 40 metres of white water fury plunging into a shockingly shallow pool. The kind of place that reminds you how small we really are against this landscape. Every ledge and overhang tells the same story. Water versus rock, and water always wins in the end. And somewhere above this, Brandy Gill Mine awaits.
Honestly, this is just so pretty and it makes it all worthwhile. I mean, I'm not even halfway to where I want to be, but how can you argue with this? You know, it's just so beautiful. Mother Nature puts on a show.
The climb up Brandy Gill grew steeper, sometimes offering a clear path, other times leaving us to pick our own way forward. Every now and then a glance back revealed why we put up with the struggle. The Bowscale and Mosdale Hills stretching out behind us, a reminder that even the hardest climbs come with their rewards.
Just one note of reference. Why is everything that's cool in this hobby up a great big bloody hill?
All the frustration melts away the second you see water this powerful throwing itself off the edge like it's got nothing to lose. And now we're here, let's talk about how these things work.
Look at that. It's brilliant. So where you get granite or other hard rocks, you do tend to get waterfalls. And that's because you've got the hard rocks that don't erode, and then you've got the soft rocks that do. So the hard rocks at the top are like, right, I'm fine, I'm not going anywhere. And then the soft rocks get eroded, and so it literally falls off a cliff until the next bit of hard rock, and so on and so on and so on. And so that's why in these type of areas, the most famous around here is High Force in Teesdale, and that's the Windsill, which we've done in a previous video. The same sort of idea. It's just this massive piece of granite that's never going to erode, and then you've got all the softer sort of rocks underneath. So it's fascinating. The other problem I've got is I'm trying to work out how I'm going to get up there. So I may be a while.
I did indeed get up and discovered real life treasure.
So no wonder this place used to be so well valued by collectors. I mean, there's all sorts of things here, and I don't know what they are, but there's just some amazing things. All this quartzy stuff down here, you know, and there's all these exotic colours and everything. It's just great. I have tried the Geiger, and I'm on counts per second today, and yeah, it was more radioactive where this welcome sign was. So we're getting readings of 5, 6. So there's nothing really interesting here in terms of radioactivity, but you just look at the mineralization, the browns, which is usually hematite, and then the orangey stuff, which could be anything from clays to arsenopyrite. And here, you know, this staining here, look at brown stuff. Yeah, there's just all sorts of things here. But I'm a uranium hunter, not a pretty gem hunter, so that's no good for us. What's this over here? See the sparkles? So that is some form of pyrite. We actually found gold here once upon a time. Well, that's another story.
Let's be honest, we're uranium hunters first, pretty rock collectors second. And so far, Brandy Gill's been all spectacle and no signal. Not a chirp nor a hint of mine until now.
So I've arrived at another waterfall, just a little tiny one, bless it. And there's a mine entrance here. Don't remember seeing it in any of my maps. So we'll have to go and have a look and see what it's all about, won't we? Yes, plus isn't that cute? Oh, small. Right then, let's see what this is all about. Unknown spooky mine time. So, there seems to be much on the walls. All seems to be quite sort of normal. Sure what's going on here. Let's turn that Geiger counter on. So we're only at 5s. There's not a lot doing here, and as you can see, it's a dead end. Oh, how disappointing. It's also really, really marshy. So, bearing in mind there's other things I want to see today, I'm not going to bother. I don't think there's anything looking at the walls that'll be interesting. There's obviously some sort of vein there, as you can tell by the discoloration. But it wasn't on my list. Oh, it was a nice thing to find. And yeah, this is doing nothing. Geiger counter. So, spooky mine, yes. Radioactive, no.
So another waterfall and the world's shortest mine. The second half of the climb was less adventure and more sheep commute. No crashing waterfalls, no mineral streaks, just a well-worn path and the occasional judgmental stare from the local wildlife. But we didn't haul ourselves up to 600 metres for the cardio. Somewhere up here Brandy Gill Mine is hiding, or what's left of it.
For as the sat-navs would say, I have reached my destination. So up there somewhere is apparently a Brandy Gill Mine, or it might be over that corner, but I suspect it's up there following the path of all this scree. And the good thing is that the Geiger counter has gone up a bit as well. So the plan is to go up there, maybe it's go up there, and then up there somewhere to the north is a couple of veins exposed. So that's always good stuff. But this is our main target here. Let's get up to the top of that hill bit. Oh, good. More hills. So I'm about 3/4 of the way up. And whilst it's exhausting, the good thing is that you're shielded from the weather here. So there's no wind. It's brilliant. All the stuff you can see is basically off the tailings. So all of these rocks here are just stuff that was, you know, the spoils that wasn't used. I had no ore in it or whatever's. And I would imagine over the years, these have been picked clean of minerals and whatever else people have been using. So it's interesting that nature is very slowly taking it up. But I have all that to go up there. And that's if it's there. Fingers crossed. The maps say it is. But then, you know, we've done this long enough to know that maps sometimes lie, don't they? Let's see how it goes. Well, I'm at the top and I must say I'm a bit disappointed. There's absolutely no evidence of a mine around here. We've got basically just this bank. Now, I've examined the bank and as you can see, there's some whitish rock. So this may be a bit of the vein outcropping, but if I sweep slowly around, you can see there is nothing here that would suggest either a mine entrance or any evidence of veins, mineral veins. So, massive climb, and I think it might have been for nothing. The one thing I do have, though, is absolutely stunning views. I mean, in the background there's Carrock Fell. The top of Carrock Fell is meant to be some sort of, like, ancient tomb. Also in the foreground, so if I just sort of try and get a finger there is apparently went through one of the veins. So it's at least give me a good view of that. The other thing you can see right in the background is the veins of Carrock Mine. So wow, so it just puts everything into perspective, doesn't it? How cool this place is. So I'm gonna have a break and then work out a plan. There might be some stuff over there actually that's interesting. But I need to get over to there because apparently there's another vein there. So, disappointing, but what a day.
Brandy Gill's mining history is a tale of fleeting fortunes and stubborn hope. For centuries, miners chased lead veins across these hills, some so early their records are lost to time. By the 1700s, Lord Wharton's men were digging here, yet today even their workings are hard to trace. The real prize? A rare clash of minerals. When east-west lead veins crossed Carrock's tungsten-rich rocks, they created something extraordinary. Super G minerals like lindgrenite and stoltzite, so scarce they'd make collectors weep. By the 1800s, speculators came and went. A few tons of lead hauled out, then silence. But in the 1940s, Brandy Gill got its second act. Mineral hunters like Kingsbury unearthed specimens that put forgotten spots like this on the geological map. Now, the levels are collapsed, the bonanza long gone, yet the land remembers. Every hush, every rusted tool, and maybe, just maybe, there's still something hiding in that dirt. Actually, now I'm looking at it from this angle. I the wind picks up. I think that this is where the mine was and they've closed it off because there is these sticks coming out of the ground. I don't know if you can see them, but they sort of surround that deep there. So I think that's what's happened, is that this has been where the mine is, and they've just covered it in to stop people getting in and to close it off, whatever's. So I think that's what it is as well. So but it's all part of the fun, and it rhymes too. A tip from a Facebook mining enthusiast confirmed it. This was the entrance to Brandy Gill Mine, now buried, locked away for safety. But just imagine one last descent into those tunnels, chasing the glint of some overlooked mineral treasure, and we're left peering at the scars, wondering what's still hidden just out of reach.
So here I am at the head of Brandy Gill. The wind's picked up, but you see down there, it's quite a lot of landsliding, scree, whatever you want to call it. So that's the sort of end of that side. Pretty disappointed we didn't get anything on Brandy Gill. The guy did go up a little bit. He got up to about sort of, I don't know, 10 microsieverts, but that's now. That'll just be all the tailings. There won't be anything specific there. So I'm now going to investigate the other side of Brandy Gill, and onwards we go. So I'm on the other side of the Brandy Gill Beck, and there's the mine we were at before, or the lack of mine, and then here is where the vein comes out on the other side. So this is, if memory serves me right, this is a lead vein. So that's really cool to see all that. You can see it's slightly dirtier, can't you? So that sort of grey look about it. Not only has the wind pick up, but also it's doing nothing with the Geiger. I'm getting 5 6s, and I've had a little look. I'm also on the side of a hill, so I'm not going to worry about it further. But it was cool to find the vein, and there's loads of tailings there as well. So I'd imagine somebody's had a good pick through that. So on to the next target.
Brandy Gill gave us sore ankles, vistas that stole our breath, and waterfalls loud enough to drown out our complaints. But as for mines, just that one teasing entrance sealed tight, and radioactivity not a peep from the Geiger. Some secrets aren't ready to be found, not today anyway. Breaking news, mysterious figure spotted in the wilds of Poddy Gill. Is it Sasquatch, the elusive Yeti? No, even rarer. Behold, the lesser spotted uranium hunter in its natural habitat, desperately sniffing out spicy rocks.
So this is Poddy Gill. And Poddy Gill runs adjacent to Brandy Gill, and it goes out to the River Caldbeck like Brandy Gill does. Now, whilst there was only a side chance I'd find something here, and I haven't so far, what's cool about this is it was dammed. So what you're seeing in front of here was done on purpose, and that was to divert the water for use in Carrock Mine. So isn't that cool?
Poddy Gill's legacy, more looted by mineral collectors than ever mined for profit. These days, thanks to overzealous rockhounds, collecting's restricted to just a handful of spots. Unless you've got a permit, that pickaxe is strictly decorative. But the trade-off's not bad. One last postcard view of Carrock Mine, still watching over the valley like a rusted sentinel. The River Caldbeck, radioactively inconclusive, just a faint hum maybe. Future explorers might have better luck. As for us, the only hotspots we found was well, let's just say it was spicy in ways the Geiger counter can't measure. Some mysteries are best left unsolved. Back at base camp, our most reliable team member holds court. Is Burt pondering the uranium potential of the Caldbeck Fells, admiring the scenery, or just deeply concerned about the worm-to-petting ratio in his life? Priorities sorted then. Exploration's exhausting work, even for hedgehogs. Carrock Mine's industrial past is written in these ruins. What was once a hive of activity, ore crushing, sorting and processing, now stands silent, slowly being reclaimed by the fells. This was where tungsten ore was processed, first in the original sheds, then in the 1970s mill, long since dismantled. By 1988, the site was cleared, leaving only these skeletal remains. Some structures, like the old mine office, clung on into the 1980s, but today just fragments, rusted bolts, concrete stumps and the odd stubborn piece of machinery refusing to rot away. What you see here is from 1913, where the tungsten was milled by long-gone hands for a war yet to happen. The mill once stood here, northeast of Brandy Gill's confluence. Now it's hard to picture the noise, the trucks, the men working right where we're standing. Underground, some working survive, gated, monitored, but still there. Up here, nature's taken over. Even the porter cabins vanish without a trace. It's a ghost of industry, but for how much longer?
So, this is our last chance today, but this is the one which has been quoted twice in scientific papers as being a discovery of uraninite. Sadly, they weren't very specific about what it was, where it was. So what they said it was in a vein very close to the former smithy. Now, I've spent hours and hours and hours trying to work out what they mean by that. So they must mean the former mine works, which is there behind me. And the smithy must have been there, because there's no real else place for it. You aren't going to put something like that miles away from there. The other thing is that there's three possible veins. So they say it's to the west of the smithy. So from where I am, back over there. Now, the Harding vein is right behind there, and I'm hoping it's that. But there's also the possibility of being the Smith vein or even the Wilson vein, both of which are there. So, yeah. So we're going to have a little plodge across Gainesgill Beck and have a go and see if we can find it. And this could be a really short video or a really long video. Let's see how it goes. So, this is the Smith vein here. And if I turn around, you can trace it all the way up to the hill. Now, it's not confirmed how far the Smith vein actually follows, whether it stops at the river, whether it genuinely does come here. But there's no mineralization here, and also I'm miles away from the building, so I'm going to give this a no. And my Geiger's doing now. Oh yeah, there we go. It's at 9, which is quite high for today, but you know, in the scheme of things, that's not much at all. That's about 0.8 microsieverts. Fortunately, there's a little path now that's going to take us to the Harding vein. And I think that our best bet's there. Actually, from a bit further across, I think I got my veins mixed up. So you see there's two there. So that's the Wilson and the Smith vein. Because just in that top bit there, you can see a glint. I'm going to try and finger it. Just there, there's like a glint. And that's the sort of quartzy bit of the Smith vein. Either way, there was nothing there. Now doing. Let's go and get some Harding. So I'm actually sat now on the Harding Vein, and you can sort of see the dip. It goes down. You can't see much because of the bushes and everything else like this, but that's it. So, and I'm just leaving the Geiger counter running for a bit, just to see where we are, get an average reading, and then take it from there. Okay, right. Sorted it now. So as you can see, it's going up to 0.2. So we're definitely in the right thing. I don't know why my phone is just being weird, because, you know, it was working perfectly well before. Anyway, 0.2. So I'm going to take my time and just move this around, see if I can get a sort of pattern that I can then follow. So I've got my 14 counts per second. I'm just going to go up and down this bit and see what sort of readings I can get to help find this uranium, because I'm convinced it's here somewhere. So sadly, that's it. I couldn't get any higher readings than that. And the problem is that the studies that said that there was uraninite behind me was done in the 60s, when this was still a working mine. And since the mine closed 40 odd years ago, they've done an awful lot of work to demolish everything, to fill everything in and so on. Well, I can't actually see the vein behind me. I can over there with the Smith vein, you can actually see it out. But I can't see any actual, you know, veinness. So, you know, the other thing is you're not allowed to dig here. So that's the thing. And I'm not even going to begin to do that because I don't really know where I'm looking. It said 5 meters from the smithy. I think the smithy's over there somewhere. So it's over there somewhere. But yeah, without really sensitive equipment and the permission to excavate, I don't think you're going to find that. The only other alternative is it's underground. So the vein obviously is on the surface, but they also words it from below, as you know from part 2 of this. So it may be that they're referring to mineralization downstairs, and they just so happened worked it out that it was near where the smithy was located. But you know, 3D chess and all that. Anyway, what can you do? It's been fun, but unproductive. So not every day is a win for the uranium hunter. We left Carrock behind, this crumbling behemoth of another age. We found our smoking gun, whispers of uranium at the vein, but no mother lode. Just enough to keep us wondering. On my return, I still pondered the mystery of the smithy location. Whilst the evidence was compelling it was on the south side, I couldn't shake off the feeling I'd missed something. Then I came across a random website, and there it was, an old map of the mine showing the location of the smithy. And I wasn't even close, it was on the north side, right where the vein outcrop started. I guess we had to go back. So, hello. So it's been 3 weeks for me, but it's been about 30 seconds for you. So I was very unsatisfied at the end of the last video that, try as I might, I couldn't find the uraninite, even though there was several references to it. And I'd also was really tight because I'd been up Brandy Gill, I back down again. And so what I decided to do was to come back. But I have spent the last couple of weeks trawling every website, watching every YouTube video. I have read books. I've done all sorts of things to try and find this, where this uraninite is. Because if you remember last time, I sort of went over there. So behind the main building, and just to the right, you can just about make it out that you've got the Harding vein there. And all the research was telling me that that's where it was, which is brilliant, which is great. But we found a little bit of something, but we didn't find much that was going on. So then I found a website, and it was a map. So all the clues that were in the research were saying it was 5 meters from the smithy. And all of the pointers were that the smithy was there with all the other buildings. Well, actually, no. So there's a picture of the mock-up going to come up now and show you that it was on the other side. And so the smithy was next to Harding Vein North, not Harding Vein South, which is just behind me. So obviously there's nothing there anymore. So there's no point in sort of trying to look for it loading, because the only buildings they left were the 1913 works, which are the ones behind me. Also, when I found out my research, all this stuff behind me was covered in, this is where the modern buildings were. So up to the 1980s, they were on the other side, the north side of Grangegill Beck. So whilst it's very eye-catching, all the cool, some decayed stuff behind me, the actual modernish stuff was on the other side. So let's go and see what we can find. So where I'm standing, which is just a few meters up from where the sign is, where the main sort of visitor sign is, there is a anonymous sign. Now I wonder if that said smithy here, because this is exactly where the smithy was. So that's the old buildings, and you can just about make out the Harding Vein South. So behind me, just over my shoulder, is Harding Vein North. So this is roughly where the smithy is. It's 5 meters away over there. Let's go and see if we can put the pieces together and take it nice and slow. So our sort of baseline is roughly 0.9, 0.10 microsieverts, 7 counts per second, what I was using before. So I'm at the bottom of the vein. Now, handily, the research said it was the eastern wall. So at least we know which side to go on. So let's see what we can find. This also looks exactly what we're looking for, this Grecian stuff. As you can see, it's a bit greeny. So it's got the right type of rock. Let's see where we go. And that's gone up to 0.12 already. So, yeah, looking good so far. And there's also some lovely mineralization as well. So far, so good. So we just moved literally 50 centimeters and it's nearly doubled. So that's a good sign as well. I was just quite taken by this rock here. No idea what that red stuff is. That's beautiful. So moving down the side of the wall seems to be the place with the radioactivity. We're just at the sort of start, if you like, of the vein. And I know it says 0.14. It's about 18. So I'm not really sure this is what we're looking for, or if it's somewhere else, or the other possibility being that it's been covered up. Because if you look, they've actually put a huge something on the top of the vein, covering up an old arist or something like that, I would imagine. So there's every chance that it's here somewhere, but it's underneath all that rubble or stone. So I'm going to have one last quick sweep with the GM, see what I can find. And I'll also go over the top. So over the top, the vein continues. So I'm going to have a look. So whilst I'm here, why not? But I feel that this is possibly it. So, who knows? All part of the hunt.
We came methodical, inch by inch along the east wall, chasing every flicker on the radio code. The geology said we were in the right spot. The history too, but uranium just whispers. Whatever was here, all that remains is the last glow. Right place, wrong time. Maybe by 40 years, or maybe by forever. Some hunts end with questions, and this one's no different. Maybe one day, with the right permits and the right tools, someone will pry loose the last secrets of this vein, because the hunt never ends, not for uranium and not for us.
So, and that is me done with this place. I have been up from the top to see if we can get this in shot. I've been up to the top of the vein and there's nothing doing. And whilst it looks like there's like rock slides, there was loads of entrances here all the way up to the top. you could get in the mine, and if you just notice right in the background, there's some sticks. So that's where there's another one, and they've done it basically for safety to stop, obviously, people from going in. Although I have seen videos, not here, but of other places, where people have just thrown the rocks out. It's the craziest thing I've ever heard. So I'm done here. I'm at peace. Whilst there was something there, I think it's either much further down the ground, it's cut up by those waters. And the papers that were drawn in the 60s and 70s, while this is a working mine, here now bears no resemblance to that. You know, everything's been covered over, apart from the tungsten 1913 buildings, as you can see. So it's a completely different place here. And I was watching a great YouTube video. There was a little train that used to go through here, you know, with all the mine stuff. And if you remember from the previous video, we actually saw the little tracks inside the mine. So yeah, so I thought it.
Proof that Carrock hadn't given up all its treasures. This quartz alone shows why miners and collectors fought for these hills. Just look at those faces. And then this, a tree so familiar, it feels like Cheviot deja vu. Last time, one just like it pointed us to uranium. This time, maybe it's just a quiet nod.
If you remember in the very first scene of the very first video, I explored the North Bank here. I found nothing. But once again, I'm a bit tenacious and I hadn't finished it. And I learned from the Cheviot video at Horse and Burn that trees are my friends, and I'm wondering if this is Gandalf's cousin. So I'm just going to see an old friend. So underneath Gandalf's cousin's tree, at the North Bank over there, there's just whispers of radioactivity. This is higher, or the sort of same level as what was at the vein. So you never know. Carrock may have one last secret. But thank you, Gandalf's cousin the tree. You let me pass.
Three videos, countless miles, and Carrock Mine's final lesson? Uranium's a fickle friend. We found whispers of it in the riverbanks, in the Harding vein, even in Professor Wigglesworth's very discerning taste. But the big score, still hiding. Maybe deeper, maybe buried, maybe just not today. What did we find? Proof that these hills don't give up secrets easily. They're too busy being breathtaking. Waterfalls carving stone, ruins dissolving into the earth, and trees that seem to wink at fools like us chasing ghosts. So where to next? Well, where there's mines, there's metal. And where there's metal, well, you know how this goes. And the Caldbeck Fell is full of them. Coming soon on the Uranium Hunter.